Welcome to the Gay Catholic Hour, a program of news, entertainment, healing, and affirmation brought to you by Dignity New York, an organization serving marginalized Catholics since 1972.
The women and men of Dignity want you to feel right at home, no matter what your sexual orientation: lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, or straight.
We are all God's children.
Hi, welcome to the Gay Catholic Hour, a production of Dignity New York. My name is Kathy Carter.
And I'm Chris Capiello.
We'll be your host for tonight's show.
Well, Kathy, it's great to have you back next to me this month. I missed you last month when I was here all by myself.
Well, it's good to be back, but you know, busy.
Yes.
So what happened while I was gone?
Well, a lot has gone on. Our last show focused on the events from the Dignity USA National Convention held in Denver this past summer, which was attended by more than 300 members of Dignity from throughout the country.
Including you.
This is true. Yes, I was lucky enough to be one of our own chapter's representatives to the House of Delegates, which met for the 2 days prior to the convention.
So tell me something about this House of Delegates thing.
Okay, well, the House of Delegates includes representatives from all the Dignity chapters all over the country. And every 2 years, they get together and make all sorts of decisions and pass all kinds of motions to decide what direction Dignity will be going in for the next 2 years. And I was one of our delegates along with John Falcone and Brendan Fay.
So tonight we'll be focusing on some of the decisions the House of Delegates made this summer.
This is true. Our roving reporter, Will Berger, roved along and caught up with John and Brendan and talked with them about the House of Delegates and their impressions of what went on.
So first of all, we'll take a look at Will and his conversation with John.
Hi, Will Berger here, and we're continuing our overview, discussion, analysis of, what was it, John?
The Dignity USA House of Delegates and National Convention.
Okay, so this is basically Dignity's answer to the Council of Trent, and it usually goes on just as long. And I'm here with one of our delegates. We were in very good hands. We had Chris Capiello, whom you saw last month, and Brendan Fay, whom you can imagine you'll probably see at some point in the show, and John Falcone. Now, just to remind everybody, when and where was this?
This was in Denver in the second or so week of August of 1999.
Okay, so it was a while ago, but there were some pretty far-reaching issues on this, right?
I think so. I mean, there were some resolutions that we passed in support of Janine Nugent and Janine Gramick
and Bob Nugent, yeah, right.
There was an important resolution we passed as a national organization against the death penalty.
Okay, let's review that just a moment because that's important and that might be old news for people there. Janine and Bob were?
They were the founders of New Ways Ministries,
Right.
Which is an outreach, Catholic outreach to gay and lesbian folks, bisexual, transgender folks, and their families. And they were silenced by the Vatican.
In no uncertain terms, correct?
Very much so.
Right. A lot of people in the gay community were shocked, not that the Vatican shut down Bob and Janine, but the vehemence with which the language was committed. We've heard a lot of calls for protest from the gay community. So what did Dignity as a national group decide to do in Denver?
Well, when we were in Denver, we actually put together a pretty visible protest from including folks at the convention and House of Delegates. We went and staged a march up in front of the cathedral in Denver. There were
All right.
something around 100 people, I think.
Great. So you were queer radicals in the street?
Absolutely. Queer radicals, including little old nuns that came to the convention and family and other folks.
Okay, so you and a bunch of queer radicals and a bunch of little old nuns and everybody hit the streets. Was this something new for Denver? Do they have a history of cathedral protest?
I don't think so. And I think that I think that we were working on sort of a couple of different levels because our national leadership was talking with the bishop, trying to smooth the way for the convention being there and things like that. But at the same time, some of the folks at the convention were feeling very strongly. So we talked with our national leadership and figured out this.
Why would we want to smooth the way with the local bishop? It seems to me we'd want to cause as much trouble as possible. But that's me. Okay, so that was one big thing, and I understand, rumor has it that Brendan was very involved. Brendan Fay, in case you missed that the first few times, was involved in organizing this protest.
He was, I think, the chief organizer. And as
Fenian bastard that he is. Okay.
but as he usually does, he brought in lots of people and talked very much with the local leadership of Dignity in Denver, so that things sort of gelled really well.
Terrific. Okay, so after you had fun making a scene at the cathedral, what else did you guys do? I hear there were some other important issues.
Well, one of the important issues that we dealt with was sort of the nature of Dignity, our understanding of ourselves as an organization, vis-a-vis our own members and the church at large, and the world at large. So we came up with a new vision statement that the House of Delegates approved for Dignity.
Have we had a lot of vision statements that you know of?
This is the first one, I think. It's sort of based.
Oh, I don't know.
I think,
Maybe.
I
Okay.
think it is.
Okay. Well,
and
we've got one now.
we've got one now.
That's all. Okay.
And we also came up with a statement of sort of ecclesial purpose, I think was the name of it.
Okay, now in plain English.
What makes Dignity different from diocesan ministries and other church-approved ministries for gay and lesbian folks?
Well, I could probably think of a few things right off the bat, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. That they can't shut us down like they did with New Ways Ministry.
True.
Okay. That we will accept no compromise on our full participation in the church as gay and lesbian people.
Right.
Marriage in there somewhere?
The recognition of gay and lesbian, bisexual, transgendered unions.
Now tell me about the death penalty resolution, because I think this is important. What happened?
Dignity USA came out against the death penalty in unequivocal terms. And the timing of it was interesting because at that very time when we were voting on it, the trials of the accused killers of Billy Jack Gaither, a gay man in Alabama, were going on.
And there was talk of frying them for this death.
Exactly.
And this was a gay organization saying that this is wrong.
Right.
Now, this is really big, I think, because this strikes me as one of the first issues Dignity has come out on a national level that is not specific to my genitals.
I think that's true. And I expected it to be a more contentious issue, really. But it wasn't. The House really was very clear that this was the sense of the organization.
Total, unanimous?
I don't think it was unanimous, but I don't think there was one or two abstentions or no votes. But
Really?
The vast majority.
So there's a movement toward this. I mean, this is not something imposed on by, our version of the Vatican. This is something that people really believe, you think?
It came up through the ranks.
And how do we word this? Any nice, good wording on this?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it sound good at the time?
It did.
Okay, that's great.
And it was very strong. It was very unequivocal.
I think this is very exciting because it's something that the church authorities are supposed to be talking about, and somehow, I don't know about you guys, but I never hear them. I mean, they sort of say, now, everything you do sexually is wrong, and death penalty, and, this sort of thing. So we're actually kind of taking some Catholic leadership here, aren't we?
Well, I think this is part of our prophetic voice as an organization and a movement.
Okay, did you hear that? That's really good. Prophetic voice. Okay, we sound like, a couple of queers talking in the village, but this is a prophetic voice, and I like that. Okay, now tell me this. Was this a big experience for you?
It was, I think. I got to meet lots of wonderful gay, lesbi, trans people from all across the country. And the liturgies were really wonderful, filled with, this is the Jubilee year, the millennium is coming, so filled with a sense of Jubilee and a transformation of the world, seeking for justice and renewal of our communities and of all communities.
That's all lovely. Now, which were the cutest delegates? What city? Come on, tell me the truth.
Well, I shouldn't.
This is not to diss anybody else.
Well, I really liked the folks from Boston. They were really nice.
Boston.
Boston.
Who would have thought Boston? Okay. And where do you get the sense of this experience sending Dignity as a whole? Not the Boston people being cute, but I mean just the coming together.
I think that there was a lot of energy generated at the House of Delegates, and I think that a lot of folks were really enthused about building the organization. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's a problem for just about any gay organization in the late 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, I think especially gay religious groups or a gay Catholic group, because people are very
We're the only one there is.
well, yeah. But I think folks are really alienated from their faith a lot, and so us moving forward and trying to sort of activate their energy again and bring them back into a religious setting, I think is really a good thing.
That sounds exciting, John. You going to go to the next one?
I hope so.
Mm-hmm. And were there any good parties I should know about?
Oh my God.
Oh, my God. Never seen him so excited. I need to buy a vowel because, oh, my God. Okay.
No, the dinner dance was absolutely fabulous.
Right.
People came with wonderful costumes and
Costumes?
danced the night away.
Any martyrdoms of Saint Sebastian?
No, we had cowboy hats out to here and chaps out to there. It was wonderful.
Dignity Houston?
Dignity Chicago.
That's us. Always unpredictable. Okay. And anyone from San Francisco with a Golden Gate Bridge hat, or are they over that finally?
Fabulous San Francisco people, no Golden Gate bridges.
Okay. Yeah, we love you. Okay. Any other last thoughts on this?
I was very impressed by the spirit of the place and by the trust and faith that we put in each other there. And I think it was the spirit moving.
Wow, those are heavy words. Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you.
While the Michael J. Oliveri Award is given each year to the opportunity for us to recognize and to thank the entire community for the work that you all do all year. Because of your unselfishness and generosity, Dignity New York continues to offer a spiritual oasis where one's entire being, spiritual and sexual, are not only accepted, but are embraced and recognized as gifts from God. We cannot list all the names of the people who have volunteered their time, spirits, or resources this year, but we do want to recognize the work that you have done. We would like to celebrate the incredible year of volunteerism and thank all of you who have worked in any way on the following, even if it is only to pray for Dignity and its events. And before I start, I'm sure I will leave something out, and if I do, I apologize in advance. AIDS ministry, cooking dinner at Bailey House, serving tea at Cabrini, giving financial support to those in need, thank you. Liturgy, to all our priests who donate their time to give us the only homilies that recognize our total beings and make the scriptures relevant to us, thank you. To the liturgy committee who plans the liturgies, the Eucharistic ministers, the readers, the sacristans, the greeters, the choir, the music directors, the musicians, the baker of the bread, the hospitality people who drag the refreshments to our social every week, the guest homilists, St. John's Church officials for giving us a home in which to worship, thank you. To those who do pastoral ministry, counseling us on spiritual issues, marriage, adoptions, reconciliation, faith, thank you. To those who planned and presided as lay presiders at our prayer services, thank you. Thanks, Brendan. To the planners, facilitators, and participants in our yearly retreat, and to the Sisters of Charity for their hospitality. To those who planned, worked on, and attended our Advent and Christmas liturgies. To those who planned, worked on, and attended the Easter Triduum and all the work that went into that. Everyone who helped with or participated in our presence in the Gay Pride Parade and who worked on our Pride liturgy, thank you. Social justice, to those who supported or worked on our meetings with Cardinal O'Connor, our prayer witness across from St. Patrick's on Gay Pride Day, our presence on the cathedral steps at Gay Pride, our witness before the Vatican Mission in response to the Graham-Nugent situation, those who work on Solidarity Sunday activities, Lavender and Green celebration, those who represent us on women's concerns issues, Latino issues, youth issues, thank you. To those who helped us on the mailing of the History Project, who worked on other special mailings, who work on the regular mailings of newsletters, both locally and nationally, who work on the bulletin, who work at the tables at Gay Pride, at the garden party, at orientations at the center, who do public relations and media work, thank you. To everyone who has participated in Dignity New York's activities with the Spiritual Rainbow, to everyone who's worked on the Gay Catholic Hour, an enormous project, thank you. for everyone who's worked on Dignity New York's first community directory, to all who've helped initiate and sustain our new Saturday liturgy, to all who've planned and participated in this year's AIDS Walk, to others who've held fundraising events or who have supported us in other ways, financially and in other ways. And finally, to the defenders for all the work they do all year, and especially for hosting this event, please give yourselves a round of applause.
One of the most extraordinary events that has tremendous impact on the life of Dignity New York has been the coming together of the two dignities in this city, Dignity Big Apple and Dignity New York, and all of the members of Dignity Big Apple who we are now all Dignity New York. This was something that over the years, it really was an element of pain and anguish and a reminder of division and issues in our past, and it was right into our present. Sometimes it takes very special people to bring healing and reconciliation and bring a community together. As we sat around and thought of the momentous significance of that coming together, we thought of the people who were especially instrumental in that coming together, and they are Ed Durney and Tommy McNulty, whom we'd like to come up here. I don't see Ed here, but Tom McNulty is there. Tom, come up here for a second.
Unlike Brandon, I'm not very good at the Irish oratory. I'd just like to thank you for getting this award. It's nice to get it. And I hope that Dignity Big Apple and Dignity New York will be able to work together as one dignity, and that it will continue to go.
Amen.
Thanks, Tom. Ed Dorney is not here. I want to say a word about Ed. I met Ed on the stairs of St. Francis when I was there leafleting the members of the round table, trying to recruit people to come to our Advent and Christmas celebration. Ed stopped and talked to me and introduced himself as a member of Big Apple, and I asked Ed to go to Joe Brown, and we opened a dialogue that day. And Ed and Tom both have been extremely instrumental in sustaining the Saturday service. And for that, it's an enormous amount of work, and they're there every week, and we really appreciate it. Our second awardee. As is obvious, we have been blessed this year with many gifts from our community. Well, we, as Brendan said, had a list of several worthy candidates, all of whom could have easily received this award. We talked, we prayed, and ultimately we voted. And the vote was unanimous. For the work that he does all year, the behind-the-scenes work, the thankless work, the essential work, for his leadership, his sense of history, his single-mindedness, his conspicuous love of God and love of Dignity New York, it is my great honor to present Dignity New York's 1999 Michael J. Oliveri Award for Outstanding Volunteerism in our community to Gary Spokes. Nikki.
Well, usually I say it every week in the commentary in the bulletin. What more can I say except it's in there tonight? And I mean it. Right now, we need more than at any other time, with Big Apple coming together with Dignity New York, coming to election time when factionalism has a tendency to come out in the open. We have the readings tonight that will talk about forgiveness. And when Jesus says, you forgive 70 times 7, it really means 7 times 7 to the 10th power in the language of his day. And as you'll see when you get the bulletin tonight, that means if you forgave somebody every second of every day, you wouldn't be able to live long enough because you would still be doing it more than 4 billion years from now. That's how much forgiveness this community has and should have. And I thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Well, it seems to be an especially busy time for the Defenders these days. Not only did they host our volunteer barbecue, but they have a very special event coming up soon.
Yes, they do. On Saturday, November 13th, the Defenders invite everyone to join them to celebrate their 18th anniversary with Indulgence 2, a dinner extravaganza that will be held at the Fashion Institute of Technology.
And tickets for this fabulous event are the same price they were last year, only $75, a real bargain. And our own Will Berger caught up with Tom Saporita, who is organizing this fabulous event for the Defenders.
Let's check it out.
Hello, this is Will Berger, and we're going to be talking about a very exciting upcoming event, and we have Tom Saporita here to tell us all about it. Tom, what's going on?
Hi, Will. Well, I'm here tonight to talk about Indulgence 2, which is the Defenders' anniversary dinner.
Okay, let's back up right there. First of all, it's being hosted by the Defenders, who are, one more time, in case you've missed our last 11 episodes,
The Leather Outreach Organization at Dignity, New York.
Okay, so we do leather here, okay? So if you're into leather or curious or whatever, come on and check that out. Now, there's this event, and it's called, and I love this, you've got to love this, Indulgence 2, okay? So Catholic leather people out there will get that. And it's number 2. Why is it number 2?
Because last year was number 1.
Correct. And you had a great MC last year. What was his name?
William Berger.
Right, William Berger. Yeah, the guy with the beard. Okay. And we had all sorts of... It was very chic and A-list, wasn't it?
I think it was a sensational event.
Sensational. And it was so sensational, we're doing it again, and see, people are coming to find out about it. The phones are ringing. I don't know what that is. Off the hook. Okay, so if you go to Indulgence 2, what are you going to get?
It's a cocktail reception and dinner with great entertainment and a wonderful crowd of about 220 people.
220 people from all over?
All over the United States, all over New York, and all different areas of the lesbian and gay community.
Okay, so you get this fabulous dinner, and I know your dinner, so we'll eat well. And then what else do you get there?
Well, we have a lot of special surprises and a guest appearance by Empress Pansy of the Emerald Court of New York City.
The Imperial Court.
The Imperial
Court. We love her, love Pansy, can't wait to see her. Now, I love this drag and leather combination. Does that work for you?
Sure does.
Okay.
The Imperial Court's been a big part of Folsom Street East every year since it began here.
So take your stereotypes and stuff them, because we are an inclusive community. Now, I'm looking at all these great names. Is there anybody else you can tell me about who's going to be there? Or who are you honoring?
Well, we're honoring Lolita Wolf, who is a stalwart of the leather community here and on the...
And I'm sure you mean stalwart, right?
Sure is.
Oh, yes.
We're honoring the Atlantic Motorcycle Coordinating Council. That's a mouthful.
Mouthful, yeah.
That represents 25 now organizations from Norfolk, Virginia to Quebec and all the way across to London. And I'm happy to say that the Defenders New York are the newest chapter of the Atlantic Motorcycle Council.
Mazel tov, mazel tov. Anybody else?
And a big surprise treat is that we're honoring Gary Robinson and David Johnson, who are the creators and designers of the Tom of Finland Clothing Company.
Love them. And can we give a plug for their little store?
They have a wonderful store on 9th Avenue at the corner of, 8th Avenue. 8th Avenue at the corner of 19th Street.
Yes. Fit in a pair of their jeans, start over, because you're hurting. And we have some Tom of Finland imagery up here, I see, so this is kind of setting the tone.
Well, Tom of Finland Foundation for Erotic Art is one of our beneficiaries. This is not just a dinner, it is a benefit. And our other beneficiary is the National Council for Sexual Freedom, which lobbies politicians and organizations on behalf of people in what is known as the, fringes of the gay spectrum in terms of sexual appetites.
Okay, and at the Imperial Court, they know from fringes, right?
They know a lot.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Okay.
We actually are planning to have the 4 top winners of this year's International Mr. Leather contest there. From Bruce Chopnick from Denver, Colorado, who is this year's International Mr. Leather. His runner-up, Sean Riley, coming in from San Diego. The 3rd runner-up, Mike Hargis, who's also coming from California. And the 4th runner-up, Glenn Malacca from Washington, D.C. So that's a pretty starry spectrum.
And you've got all your different types around the country, right? Rocky Mountain, Surfer Dude, and did you say Glenn Malacca?
Glenn Malacca.
Malacca, okay, thank you. Okay, very good. Oh, there it is. Oh, and then one of my personal favorites. Now, tell them about this.
Well, Tony Mills, who probably is the greatest example of community service in terms of someone who has been a title holder. Tony was Mr. International Leather 1998, and he has been one of our honorary national chairs for the event and done a lot of work for us.
And he is not hard to look at, and on top of which, a doctor, right?
Yes, he is.
You can take him home to mom, full leather and everything. He's a great guy, real community leader, and a personal role model of mine. And anybody else?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Peggy, who is the New York Leather Woman and was one of the first runner-ups at IMSL, which is International Ms. Leather, she is one of our honorary chair people, and she will be there this year also.
Okay, so we'll see you there. Now, you tell me exactly where and when, because I'm going to need to know.
Okay, once again, it's Saturday evening, November 13th, at the Fashion Institute of Technology. Someone's knocking
They're
at
knocking
door
the doors
to
down,
come
right,
buy
yes.
tickets. Yes,
Right.
Saturday evening, November 13th, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the David Dubinsky Center of the Fashion Institute.
And you can count on Tom and his people to trick that place up into its most festive mode ever, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll see you there. Is there a number they can call, or
Yes, there is.
how about that?
Of
How do I
course,
know?
as I said
As
before.
you said before, repeat it.
627-488, and it's box number 3, or we can be reached electronically. There's New York, one word, at hotmail.com.
Sounds hot to me. Okay, so we'll see you all there. Are there any tickets left?
There are just a few, so I mean that. I'm not just saying
Right,
that.
right.
This is a big event, and we have a few seats available. So get your money in soon.
And they don't have to go out and buy new leather outfits if they don't have them.
No, well, if we don't like what you're wearing, we'll ask you to take it off.
This sounds like a fun dinner to me. Make sure we see you there. Okay, Tom, that's going to be great.
Thank you, Will.
Well, that's it for tonight's show, and we hope you'll join us at Liturgy. We have 2 choices now this week. Liturgy, we have a home-style mass at the Gay and Lesbian Community Center every Saturday night at 8 o'clock.
That's right, and we still have our old Sunday Mass at St. John's in the Village on the corner of Waverly and West 11th Street, just west of 7th Avenue.
So-
Mass begins at 7:30, and it's followed by a social.
Stepping on you here. So for more information, just call the number on the screen.
And if you can't find a pencil, don't panic. We're listed in the phone book under Dignity New York.
So call us.
And watch us next month, same time, same station.
So until next time, be proud you're Catholic.
And be proud you're gay. So long.